Testing broadcast, waiting for broadcast to be published. Okay, so today we're going to be doing there we go. You're going to see a lot of, look at that, that's really funny. You're going to see us cupping a bunch of parched greens right now, 2020 with the JagaSilk team, trying to keep some good food safe and COVID control in place. We do work in close quarters, but we're all going to be wearing masks. We're cupping parched green 2020s from various Chinese tea producers. We're trying to do this blind. The settings that we're going to have in place are going to be 3 grams of tea, 80 degrees centigrade water. We're going to be brewing for 2 minutes, and we're going to be doing 180 mils. Where are we? We can actually start the first one, I think. Well, you're kind of preparing that. I'll get this one going. And this is the first tea vessel that we're going to use. We're going to be putting in these leaves. You can see that okay. And this is going to be number 1. And so we'll do the great reveal at the end, what is what. But for now, we're trying to do this blind. And I already started this wrong because I didn't preheat the teapot. Oh. Can you do that for me? Actually, I'm mic'd up. I can't. You got it. Okay, awesome.
What is the dry aroma?
Dry aroma. Yeah. Visual observation. Dry aroma. Yeah, that smells really good. I'm just going to hold it if you want to smell. It's pretty soft. There is definitely an aromatic.
Yeah, pretty soft.
I'm not sure what I smell there. Yeah, I'm picking up very little aromatic. Like, you know, just because the tea has a dry aroma that's fairly subdued doesn't mean that it's a bad tea. The visual observation, really small leaves, lots of bud content. There looks to be like a certain amount of like hair on the leaves. Looks like they're really young. And I mean, when you put it into a hot teapot, then you start to get a little bit more aromatics. Right, and it smells delicious, actually. It smells more like, it has like a nice roasty smell.
Yeah.
It really brings out a lot more of that sweet vegetable flavor.
Buttered popcorn, maybe?
Or sesame. Yeah, buttered popcorn, for sure, that's a good. Okay, so, number 1, gonna set a timer for 2 minutes and get this going. We're gonna be, again, doing 180 grams. So do you guys remember what a parched green is versus, say, something we get out of Japan?
As far as I know, it's similar to roasting.
Parching? Yeah, okay. So it's like or another word for parching is pan firing. Yeah, exactly, Sunny. Yeah, she's making the hand motions here. It's like, imagine a giant wok, right? That's, I mean, these days you see a lot more production where they have submerged their kind of embeveled counters with electric heat underneath. But old school would be like over an open flame when you're parching. Do you guys know how they make green tea in Japan? What's the most common method for the kill green process? Do you remember? Thank you. Yes, steaming. So steaming is generally the most common way that you're gonna do the kill green process. And so how much? Here's another pop quiz for you guys. So we've asked this question in the past, but what is our goal for withering tea leaves when it comes to green tea?
We don't want any. We
don't want any. Thank you. Awesome. So our goal is to have as little browning of the leaves as possible. So that propyl oxidase enzyme, the PPO enzyme, is what's responsible for browning the leaves and creating oolongs, crimson teas, etc. With green teas, we want to process them ideally within 23 hours of harvest. If we do that, then there's going to be less of an opportunity for the leaves to I'm going to need you to preheat.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right up.
Okay. Or if you don't mind. Yeah. Thank you. You know, you're opening up teas. Misa fucking.
Sure.
The next one we're doing, number 2. Again, no dry aroma. You know what? I'm going to empty them into the. Thank you. Into the hot teapots to actually get a little bit of a dry aroma. Is that really a dry aroma? I don't know. Again, a very similar kind of buttered popcorn smell. The butter,
True.
it's less pronounced than the one before, but it's definitely there. It's kind of an acidic smell too, like a nice acidity. Brown rice, yeah, okay, yeah. Cooked brown rice. Okay. And so just to be careful, let's just have one person pouring. That'll be me. And the liquor is a very soft, well, let's show it to the camera too. Very almost transparent, very soft green. Yeah. You want to take that? You. The wet fragrance, that's going to be next. So, like a soft sourness almost. Jalapeno, okay. I could go with that. That's actually a really good tasting note. And then that's lovely. It tastes lovely. Very soft. Again, I think what I'm noticing this year is that higher doses are tasting better. It could be the year, it could be my own personal preference, but a lot of teas that I'm used to being able to make 3 grams, 180 mils is not as ideal that way. And whenever I taste them, I keep thinking, wow, if I just updose that a little bit, there's so much potential. That tea tastes like it has a lot of potential. What do you guys taste in that?
Not too much.
You're not picking up a whole lot? So watery finish for sure.
Yeah.
But what do you got for an opening? That's where all the flavor is in that one. Cabbage, okay. Yeah, cabbage. We had jalapeno in the nose. Anything else? That smells really good. Huh.
Mouthfeel?
It's very watery, yeah. So the mouthfeel is watery. There is no fourth pulse. I think there's another question we always ask, is this sellable? And I think that we could say that this has potential. I don't think it's sellable in its current extraction setting, but I think that it has potential. Can you taste the potential? Yeah? Like there's like, I almost feel like it's like, it wants to, it wants to say something really interesting.
Yeah. There's no sign of bitters yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is fascinating, right?
Yeah.
The third one, I don't want to bounce around too much. It's kind of hard on Sunny if we do that, but to me these look like yellow tea leaves. So I'll show the camera, but you can see that they're really young. almost completely unfurled. They look like very complete bud sets. Sorry, not complete bud sets. These are just like the second leaf. Some in there are bud sets. It looks like their goal here is not to produce a bud set, but to produce just the smallest leaf. I'm going to, if you want to do the preheating, that would be awesome.
Sunnyson hasn't got the visual observation.
The second one.
Second one. There we are. We're on the second one for extraction. So again, very young leaves for visual observation. It smells almost proteiny. You can see the...
I agree. Yeah.
There's like a green bean or a mung bean. Yeah, that's really interesting. Smells like steamed kale, which seems to be a common flavor note for our parched greens, and even our steamed greens.
Liquor is still very soft.
Say that again?
Liquor.
Pale green, or almost clear. That has a lot more identity right off the bat. Like you get a nice nose. And when you're drinking, it's really important to splash a little bit of, actually the best way they say you can drink tea is to just hold it on your tongue and blow a little air out your nose and then hold your breath for a moment, and that's gonna make all the aromatics go into your retroolfactory senses, and you'll get a much better sense of flavor. If you just take a little tiny sip and you sip it right away, you're not going to get as a full understanding of what and swish it around in your mouth a bit. This is still watery to me. It has, again, more promising than the first one. I feel like it has a really nice solid opening. After it sits on your tongue, it finishes watery. Then it comes back with a little bit of tannin, but it's a very soft tannin. So, yeah. But it smells really good. When it smells this good in the cup, it's exciting for me. Like I'm gonna be really happy.
Is it worth smelling the cup?
Oh, 100%. Especially after you finish drinking,
Oh yeah.
you get really interesting smells. Yeah.
Super good.
I don't know if our view.
Flavor?
Sorry?
Flavor.
Flavor. What are we picking up for flavor? I'm thinking again, like it's just always reminds me of vegetables, like asparagus and Brussels sprouts, and like it's just that's what comes into my brain.
It's a very sweet smell, though.
I know. Yeah, I'm kind of trying to tie it to some sort of candy, but I don't know what it would be.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hard candy.
You guys have a candy in mind?
Cotton candy.
Cotton candy? Okay, that always pops into my head, so I was trying to not say it, but yeah, cotton candy. Yeah. But I mean, it is what it is, right? I didn't really get a sense of a fourth pulse. Did you guys get a sense of a fourth pulse?
Can you remind me what that is?
It's just kind of an internal term. It's just for when after the finish is done, there's a wave of flavor that comes after that kind of just reawakens, and it's a sign of a very long. You could just call it a really long finish, but there is definitely a subdued element to the finish before this fourth pulse comes.
Okay.
And whenever we're dialing in a tea, that's what I'm really looking for, because I feel like if I get good texture, and this one is a little silky for texture, but it's not it's not like acceptable. So
Not sellable.
not yet, not yet.
First and second both are
Not they're potential. I think the second one has more potential than the first one.
Oh.
Can I ask you a quick question?
What's up?
About the video camera, does it have the red dot if it's recording?
The camera is not recording. It's the software that's recording. Yeah. So I'm gonna add 80 degrees. 2 minutes. Lot younger leaves. So we have selections from a variety of different spaces. I can tell from some of them what they are just from the appearance of the leaves. But one thing that we're not cupping today is the Longjing. Instead, what we're doing is we're focusing on really anything but, because I did a Longjing last year. Doesn't mean it's going to be bad, and it might actually be what we go for in the end if none of these are like super acceptable. But I have the feeling I know already which one I want, but it's always a useful exercise. What's your question? Dry aroma on this one?
yes.
And visual observation? We already did visual observation, but the dry aroma was very subdued. Yeah, very subdued. And already the wet fragrance, there's a lot more happening. Little accident behind the camera.
Ooh,
Yeah.
definitely a
Very,
toasted rice.
yeah, very interesting.
Or rice cake.
So, really interesting in the teapot too. Yeah.
Salty?
Yeah, there's like a savory. There's a savory element to this. We recovered. You're gonna butt heads. Better be careful. We're all. Okay. So we'll see how that goes. 20 seconds left on that one. I'm gonna need another preheat. The which? We can do a quick visual. We have 9 seconds left on the brew time. The other one. This is Twisted Leaf, very young, lots of bud content, a very different color green. Okay. Third one.
Smells like a flower.
And what we've done, just for people watching this, is we've numbered the bottom of we've numbered the bags, we've numbered the sample bags, we've numbered the dry dosing cups, the teapots, and the decanters. I'm going to show that to the camera. There's kind of a spiciness
Almost
to the
like
smell.
a pumpkin seed.
Yeah, I could go with pumpkin seed, but there's also like a pepper. Like you know when you have like a pepper that you've ground really fine and you just have a small amount of it?
His tame.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Okay, so that's the liquid color of the third one. That's again a very similar color, but I think like I'm getting a little bit more green out of that. So still soft green, but well, that's interesting. That has a lot more presence on the tongue. That's surprising. I didn't expect that to have much flavor just from the look of the leaves. That normally when leaves are that lightweight and that tiny, you really need to use a much higher dose to get anything out of them. But I feel like this is producing some interesting flavors. There's kind of a soft, gentle quality to the opening. There's a little bit of roastiness. There's a gentle acidity in the finish. It kind of clings to the tongue a bit. perhaps a little bit too much tannin. Probably if I dosed this higher and lowered the temperature, it would taste. You'd get more proteiny elements out of it.
I'm still enjoying the spiciness of it.
Yeah. But I think that's lovely just as is too. Like, perhaps a little bit too much astringency that I'd like to temper. But if somebody served me this tea, I'd be pretty happy. I'd be like, oh, that's a nice tasting green tea. Like I wouldn't be. And the complexity of aromatics is really nice. What are you guys smelling? What are you tasting? Sweet potato? Stem. The stem of a sweet potato? Oh, interesting. Okay. Huh. That's cool.
I taste walnut.
What do you taste?
Walnut.
Walnut. Okay. Do we have anything? Squash. Okay. Yeah. Squash, walnut, sweet potato stem. Spicy.
Yeah, the pepper.
It was actually in the fourth one, in the dry aromatic. Yeah, that's really interesting. Okay. Moving on. Where did I put that decanter? There it is. Okay. So we're gonna go to the fourth one.
Mouthfeel and finish your third one.
Yeah, this one has a fourth pulse. It's very gentle, almost not there,
But present.
but present. Yeah.
Mouthfeel.
You already did this one.
Mouthfeel and finish.
Sorry.
Mouthfeel and finish.
Mouthfeel. What did you think? Silky? Was there? It wasn't like terribly watery. There was definitely a texture to it, right?
Yeah, silky is a good word for it.
Yeah. Let's go with silky.
Okay, and finish.
The finish was soft. Was a little bit. I wouldn't say abrasive tannin, but there was like slightly too much tannin. That's what I would say. So again, I know I already showed this, but we're doing the fourth one here. This is blind, but lots of bud content. Looks like it's going to be a good tasting tea, just from the appearance of the leaves.
The third one sellable?
I think that it's on par with the one before it in terms of potential. Wow, that smells like potato.
Smells a bit savory.
Yeah, like a buttered potato, I think. You think dashi? Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, katsuo. Yeah, I could go with katsuo. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's really interesting. I like the gestures there. That was great. Just like, yeah, the stuff you put on okonomiyaki. Yeah, that's great. Do you know what katsuo is?
No, I haven't heard of it.
It's a bonito flakes. It's used in Japanese cuisine, and it's really common for getting dashi, and dashi being the broth that you need. Like, for example, if you just use miso, you don't have dashi. You're not going to have a complete miso soup. You need to have the dashi as well. It's in European cuisine, or you'll often see dashi being pulled from chicken bones, or yeah. Could I get this filled? And thank you very much.
So similar to soup broth.
Yeah, it is. It's totally. It's for getting the broth in a soup. The background. Those look like very delicate leaves. I'm going to show that to the camera. I don't know if it's visible, but really, really tiny. Very, very well manipulated, it looks like to me. They look like they taste good to eat. Yeah, that's really, really interesting. Let's get a sense of that. The wet fragrance is not nearly as aromatic as the dry fragrance surprisingly. I'm not getting a whole lot. I mean, this is still only a minute into the extraction, but that, yeah. So that'll come up soon. But yeah, very subdued. This is the fifth one? Yeah, the fifth one. So I'll just show the leaves for the fifth one. It smells like chocolate. Which is surprising. It's a surprising tasting note to get from, or an aromatic to get from a green tea. Mike, next time I have you on prep support, I'm also going to have you do what Misato's doing for me.
Oh, gotcha.
Which is kind of a participatory element. I might even have you be brewing. Okay, so I'm just going to start that though. Well, we're waiting for that to get to temperature. Did you start the other kettle?
Yes.
Could you grab me the other kettle? Thank you so much. Okay. So in the teapot, there's definitely like a umami smell or like a dashi smell in this one too. But I really pick up on that soft chocolate, like a lightly roasted chocolate. Yeah, cacao. That's really interesting. Okay, let's try some of this number 4. Where are the cups? Oh, there's 2. So liquid color, even paler green.
It's got a really interesting smell.
Is that?
Yeah, maybe it's like just my cups.
Mm.
I'm forgetting the name of that really spicy flower.
Nasturtium?
Yeah.
Is that what you're picking up on this? Okay, yeah, I could go with that. Nasturtium. 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 That's a really interesting tea. Yeah, like,
Very tasty,
yeah. Very dashi, I like that. A little bit of tannin, but like there's also kind of a slight smokiness to it. That's fascinating. That smoke flavor fills my nostrils, and I actually get a fairly like an umami flavor? Not an umami
Tastes
flavor.
like the dashi, but lacking umami.
That's so Menino when you haven't used enough.
It's not hurting our cheeks.
Oh, I see. Well, hurting your cheeks, that's... Fujioka-san said, if you drink tea and it hurts your cheeks, it probably has MSG in it. That's what he said. If it hurts your cheeks. But if it makes your cheeks salivate, that's a good sign. So if you get kind of like this kind of salivation over here, then that's a good sign. But if it hurts, yeah. Okay. Because it has so much umami? Well, okay. Maybe you're just describing a sensation in a different way. What do you guys... So when I drink this one, the smoky quality is a little bit too much for me. Is that just me?
I had a lot of fun with it.
You did? Okay. So is this an interesting tea for you guys? Because I'm kind of on the fence on it. I think that it's almost arguably sellable as is. Ooh.
It'll be a surprise if you order a cup of green tea and then this was served. It's a surprise.
Very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. It kind of has a left wing and a right wing flavor too, like that. It has the smoke on the right and it has the dashi hit on the left, and it's kind of like a bam bam, right? Okay, so Mouthfeel, again, I would say, well, what is it? What would you say the mouthfeel is for that? I don't know if silky's the right word.
From the smokiness.
Yeah, smoky mouthfeel.
Finish.
Mysterious mouthfeel.
Mysterious, okay, yeah. Because mouthfeel is supposed to be a texture, and I don't know if smoky is a texture. But it's borderline.
Finishing.
Finish was, what do you guys think? Mild tannin?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Fourth pearl.
The fourth pulse, dry. Normally I say yes or no, but almost yes. Almost yes. Just give that a moment. Now that's the fifth one. Really tiny leaves. This must be a Biluochin. Just the leaves are so tiny. Don't pick this up, but if you can get in close and just smell.
Number 5.
Yeah.
Oceanic.
Oceanic, okay. Yeah, like a minerally quality.
Yeah.
You want to smell that too?
The chocolate one.
Yeah, it was. This was the chocolate one. The dry aroma, right? Yeah. Cacao. Yeah. Yeah, I can see where that's kind of coming through in the wet fragrance. That's really interesting. Thank you. So the number 6, slightly bigger leaves. They look a little bit more wild to me, like they're not as carefully separated. So there's lots of different sizes of leaf in here. They're all still quite small. There's a little bit more stem content. It looks like a rougher production method. This is probably still going to taste amazing. There's a soft, very little aromatic, but reminiscent of that cacao smell that I was getting off the last one, just very slight.
I think of Play-Doh.
Play-Doh, okay. Dry aroma Play-Doh.
Yeah, no, it is very slight.
It's a very, very slight aromatic. And I think we're going to get more out of it if we put it into the hot teapot. So you want to smell before I put it in the hot teapot? And then when I put it in the hot teapot, suddenly, yeah, I get like a yam.
Yeah, strong yam for sure.
Mhm.
Yam fries.
Yeah, yam fries. Maybe that's that Play-Doh, that kind of oil smell. Yeah. Maybe sesame oil, but very, very, very light. Sesame oil is normally very strong aromatic, but if you were to use like almost too little in a stir fry. Very green. This is a smell I really like.
Yeah, so sweet.
This is very, very nice.
Number 5.
I really like that. That tastes like the settings are just bang on. That has like a full, there's a nice texture. It goes over the tongue. There is that fourth pulse. There's
Kind of mouth-watering.
yeah, it makes you salivate a bit. This is a very fascinating tea for me. This is what I'm looking for when I'm looking for a good parched green. So whatever number 5 is, that is yes for sellable. Like as is. It's not just potential. I would sell it with these settings. That's really good.
Would you play with it at all?
The flavor.
Maybe, probably not. I'd just be happy. I'd be like, this is great. I would still taste it in gongfu style and things like that.
Oh yeah.
So flavor.
Flavor, sweet vegetable. What is the vegetable? Beans, okay. Oh, beets. That's a good tasting note. Yeah. Yeah, beets. Yeah, beets. Like cooked beets, right? Yeah.
It tastes
Or like balsamic.
hint of citrus, like,
Yeah? Yeah?
I don't know.
Yuzu. Can you put yuzu? That's a great tasting note too.
What is yuzu?
Yuzu is a Japanese citrus fruit.
Oh.
It's got a very. There's some yuzu jam you'll have to try. You will love it. Like,
Cool.
yeah, it's amazing.
Mouthfeel.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
This reminds me of chocolate-covered raisins.
It's still silky.
You know, like raisins. There's like a raisin quality.
At 7?
Maybe like.
This is 6.
Oh, that's
We already smelled this, but just think raisins. It's
Yeah,
like-
raisin bran for sure.
Yeah, raisin bran.
What's this? Number
6.
6.
Or is it?
Play-Doh.
Yeah, number 6.
What?
The Play-Doh. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, huh.
But then we put it into the hot teapot and it was different again. Then we picked up the yam fries. So yam fries and raisins. Oops. Okay. So, I mean, bear in mind, like, the fact that we're doing this way, this isn't like an ideal, really, if we were, and I might change our cupping system in the future for these teas, just so we get a better sense of perhaps how it would be cupped at origin. But the Japanese system, the Indian system, the Taiwanese system, you know, there's also an international system, but they're all different from one another. So what I like to do is I go, from experience, parched greens normally taste good this way. And then it lets me kind of develop a flag post in the sand where I can go, okay, like a lot of those first ones that I said have potential, I really believe they have potential. We just need to updose them or lower temperature.
Lower temperature.
Yeah. If you updose and lower temperature, you're going to get out more, umami. And then if you get out, if you increase temperature and lower dose, you'll get out more floral notes. So it depends on what you're going for. Some green teas really do taste good at 90 degrees. Like we were drinking a karigane or a shiraore from Takaki that was made from gyokuro stems. Thank you. And it was so much umami that it was unpleasant. Like it was just too rich. And it didn't have a lot else going on. It was just like an umami hit and that was it. There was no flavor complexity and it was quite, we were like, okay, this is interesting. And so instead of making it like a premium sencha, we decided to try and use the settings that we developed for shiraore here at JagaSilk, the 90 degrees C. That hotter temperature broke apart the proteins a little bit more. And then by breaking apart the proteins, it allowed for more complex flavors to actually show themselves that were otherwise hidden by the intensity of the umami. So if the umami is overwhelming, then hitting it purposefully with hot water to burn it a bit and bring out different aromatics is actually a strategy that you can use.
Fascinating that.
That smells like spicy cut grass.
Oh.
Like peppery grass.
Yeah, definitely getting the citrus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a lemongrass maybe?
Lemongrass. Yeah. Lemongrass. Okay.
Oh,
This is number 6.
liquor.
Soft yellow. Well, that's an interesting flavor.
Very jalapeno.
Jalapeno?
Or is that spicy?
Yeah, like an not unspicy jalapeno. Okay. Yeah, there's actually a spicy kind of finish. I find that quite enjoyable. I like the one before it better. But again, if somebody served this to me, I would be really happy. I'd be like, oh, that's a really nice tasting green tea. It's an odd flavor. Shishito. Yeah. Like when you sometimes because shishito are the ones where every random one is spicy, right? Is that right? Yeah, it's like they even have a warning. They're like 1 out of like 15 is going to actually be spicy, but most of them are not, right?
That is so cool.
Yeah, and it's like
Green taste.
Yeah, I love the texture.
yeah, it has a nice texture. That's a very silky texture. Yeah, I think that's a good tasting note if you want to add shishito. What is shishito in English? Do we know? Is it just sold as shishito?
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. What did you say? Something pepper?
Something pepper, white.
Probably has a Chinese name too, I would imagine, right? Like if it's sold at Fairway or something. Okay.
Was that the one with the yam fry aroma?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
check that.
Isn't that interesting? That was very unexpected. So this is the
Fourth part, yes.
yes. Yeah, it's soft.
Sellable.
Sellable, high potential. I think there's only one here so far that's been sellable to me, straight off the bat. That reminds me of carob. Number 7. I'm smelling carob. On the unheated dry aroma.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of a smell of resin.
Yeah,
You guys know what I'm talking about?
totally.
Yeah.
Raisin, you mean?
Resin, not raisin, resin. It's like from a tree, yeah. Like sap, kind of, yeah. RESIN.
Couldn't have said it better. Yeah.
Yeah, there again. Not a big difference from when it was cold. Yeah, carob, and not like a sweet sap. This is like a very, like a wood. There's like a wood smell in there.
Yeah, like the woods almost, like maybe.
Yeah, like a forest smell.
Yeah.
But not like a pine needle. Like I'm not tasting like evergreen.
No.
It's more like wood without the greenery.
Visual observation?
This looks like a Luang Guapian. It looks like, just very, very carefully selected leaves. If this is a Luang Guapian, which it very likely is, it's the second leaf off of the bud set, carefully separated from the rest of the plant. So it's called this because it looks like a melon seed, like the seed when you're planting melons. Yeah, and it has that kind of texture. So I'm guessing that number 7 is Luang Guapian. Okay, so we're going to do 80 degrees, 2 minutes. So there's one that I really like. What one was that, Sunny? What was the one I said was totally sellable?
Totally sellable, number 5.
Number 5, okay. Yeah, I'm very interested in that second steep.
Number 5 must be a finish.
Interesting. I'm just going to show that to the camera. So, if you want to smell as it's brewing. So number 8, I assume this is the high dose one.
That's correct.
So this is 6 grams.
Yeah. But everything else will be the same, if I remember. Or was it a minute and a half? Minute 15. It's a minute 15, not 2 minutes for number 8. So I'll start that right now too.
So number 8, visual observation.
Number 8, visual observation. Tightly rolled. Looks like it's a little bit of stem, but mostly been removed. You can smell again and look at the visual observation. Tiny. They look like little, like you'd expect more from a tiny leaf oolong or something, you know? This is what I often say to people. Some people think that when a leaf is rolled like this, they're automatically drinking an oolong. but this is not an oolong. This is 100% a green tea. The shape of the leaf is more a result of the manipulation process during oxidation. It's not what defines it as a green. Oh wow, that's really giving me a hard time. Okay.
I smelled rice cake again.
Rice cake. Okay.
Grainy.
Green. That was in number 8, dry aroma?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So here's number 7. Get that last golden drop.
Good. 10 of them.
Mm-hmm. 10 golden drops. You're gonna be rich. Okay. Ooh. Almost. You're gotta drain that first. And then that's the one from before. This is the one we're on.
Ooh, really cozy taste.
Cozy taste?
Yeah.
Okay. You got that cozy. You can put cozy in the flavor.
Red fragrance?
It was like a soft spice again. A lot of them are spicy today. Burnt wood? Yeah, I can go with that. Like kind of like the embers of a fire when it's done.
Wow.
Again, that's very soft smoke. I think that's what's contributing to the acidity at the end.
Nice long finish.
Yeah.
What I would call a fourth pulse. Almost a spicy fourth pulse.
Mouthfeel, little thin. It's there, yeah. This doesn't have quite enough texture for me, nor quite enough, like, I want more out of it. So again, I like the word cozy enough that I want to try to make this better, but to me, this is probably one that I wouldn't normally go back to, but I probably will now because of the word cozy. Sorry? And it has actually a really good smell in the cup at the end, to be fair to it. Is slight but present. Yeah, that's a good smell in the cup. A really good smell in the cup. Okay. Not yet. So this one I've drank at home. This one that we're about to have. And I almost was like, okay, I'm all for this. But I didn't. One way you could look at it. And when we just did the triple filter, it was actually super flat. If you don't have enough mineral content, you don't have any molecules for the flavor compounds to latch onto, and you don't get any flavor rolling over your tongue. It's really, really unideal. I've actually been to spaces where they're serving coffee, and their coffee is so darkly roasted that it's extremely acidic and unpleasant. And the way that they make it pleasant is by using water that's been completely drained of all of its mineral content. And then they have, they've created a coffee that can only work with that style of water, which I find to be really sad. I'd rather have a tea and a coffee, an herbal tea, work well in many different water styles than to be really dependent on a particular one.
Yeah, when technology goes too far.
Yeah, when technology goes too far, for sure. Okay, so let's get a liquor color, soft green. There we go.
Still pretty hot.
That has a lot more potential. You can see how there's it kind of almost like a teeter-totter. Like it hits soft, and then it goes with like a waft of flavor that's actually quite rich, and then it goes soft, and then there's a little bit of acidity. There's some tannin, and it finishes nice. I think this is. I dialed this one in, so I know that this is what this tea wants. And if to be really fair with all of the other teas, I should have just made it 3 grams, 180 mils, 2 minutes.
You mind if I have another sip?
Yeah, for sure. And this is what's
The flavor?
the flavor. What are you guys picking up? Picking up like a soft jujube.
Almost a fruit.
Yeah.
Maybe a pear.
Like a pear, okay, yeah. Pear, jujube, Jujube. It's like a candy. Yeah, that's how you'd spell it, jujube.
Jujube?
Yeah. Jujube. And then, yeah, pear.
Maybe an Asian pear.
Yeah, okay, like a nashi. Yeah. Yeah, that's like the apple pear quality. That I can see that.
Yeah, I got a crispier texture maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to finish the cupping.
We're actually now on the last one. So,
Mouthfeel?
the mouthfeel was rich. It was unfair. You could put unfairly rich, right? Like you can taste that there's more botanical. Do you know what I'm saying? Can you taste that? Like it's a thicker extraction because there's more botanical.
There was a bit tannin than others.
More there would be because more botanical. Okay, that's good. If you had to finish, you can say maybe too much tannin in the flavor. Did you guys pick up too much tannin?
Not personally.
Okay, that's interesting note. So for the 8th one, if you can say that close to oolong. So I would say that in brackets you should put that maybe withered too long, and that's actually a good thing because it made it taste like there's more like floral and fruit dynamics to it, which is why we're tasting something that's closer to an oolong.
Right.
So this looks like another Luang Guapian. You see the leaves look really similar to the ones that I said before were likely a Luang Guapian. The melon seed.
Ooh, that is an awesome smell.
Mm-hmm. It smells really good.
Yeah.
It smells really good. So this is preheated? Amazing.
What is that smell?
What is that smell? Reminds me of a flower garden. Soil, but like kind of oh, what is that? There's like a geranium. Reminds me of a geranium.
Ah,
Yeah.
I would say the closest thing I have to that smell is like lemonade.
Lemonade. Yeah, geranium, lemonade. Now in the heated.
What is geranium? What?
Geranium.
Yeah, lemonade doesn't do it.
I think you'd really like geranium, Sunny.
Geranium. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
What do you say in Korean?
Geranium.
Geranium. Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
I'm shocked to hear the
Yeah.
pronunciation
Yeah.
percent.
These are appearing the same.
Yeah, it's the same as the one before, except slightly larger leaves than that one.
Okay.
It looks like it's a later harvest or a different cultivar. So different cultivars are going to get bigger at different times of year. We managed 8 teas, guys. We're going to have to drink this and then clean up pretty fast.
90, right?
But we'll get your thoughts on it as soon as it's done. Speak again?
90.
What 90s? Did we do 90s? Oh, thank you. Yeah, 90s. Thank you. Yeah.
90 degrees.
Yeah, I heard 90 as well. I'm like 90. No, it's 180 mils. What are you talking about? This isn't matcha. 90s. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That's my. Yeah, that looks really good in the jar. That looks like a very good quality Luang Guapian. It's interesting. I had a Luang Guapian at home. That's one of these, and it was ferociously smoky. It was like unreasonably smoky. Like I really didn't like it. But Mew thought I was weird. She's like, no, it's not. It's fine. She's like, it's actually pretty good. Reminded me of like eggplant and like baba ganoush. If you've ever had baba ganoush, you know how it has that kind of burnt flavor to it. And I was really not into it. But yeah, she thought I was being weird. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, did we gave it a? Yeah, we gave it a dry aroma.
I have a lot of Japanese vegetables to learn about.
Yeah, because they come up in the cuppings.
Yeah. Do you find these in certain markets around town?
Yuzu. Where would you find yuzu? I don't think you can get yuzu. You can get yuzu is often used as a spice. I have yuzu upstairs that I bought in Japan that I want to start selling in Canada.
Oh, awesome.
And I want to use it in the green tea chai.
So we'll
So
just have to look forward to one of these Japan visits.
yeah, there you go.
Makisan and I thought you would did oyaji
Yuzu are used.
This is what?
Oyaji
Yeah.
gyaku?
What did you think I said?
That's yuzu are used.
Yeah, use it often used.
Secondhand.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that was unplanned. See, I'm getting so good at my old man jokes that I say them without even trying. Yeah. Yeah, it's turning into a instinct, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a son of Otto.
Hey, that's right. I am son of Otto. That is correct. Okay. There you are. And there I am.
Cheers.
Is this the aggressively smoky one? Yeah, I really don't like that. That's the one. I swear to God, that's it. Like it's just like the smoke is like at first it starts subtle, but then it's like heavy, and it just like hangs out on your tongue, and it's like there, and I think it like kind of binds to the protein, and then you get this protein smoke flavor. It reminds me of a hot dog. I really don't like it.
I'm getting hot dog, but I'm not getting it.
You're getting hot dog? Okay. Because they put liquid smoke in hot dogs. Like it's actually an ingredient if you look at the ingredients. And it reminds me of liquid smoke. Like I feel like I have liquid smoke in this tea, and it actually, yeah, I really don't like it.
Yeah, what happened to all that amazing aroma?
Yeah, right? It's like gone. And it could be the brewing parameters, but I don't think so. I think this is a flaw in production. Because I've had this guy's tea, I've even carried it before in the past. And it was great, but it was like, I think we call it Luang Guapian by Luo. And it was awesome. It might have been Liao.
Mouthfeel.
Mouthfeel. It's a thick mouthfeel.
Thick.
Yeah.
Then finish.
Is hot dog and tannin. Yeah. It's present, yeah. So let's go through this. Misato, what did you think of the teas today and the cupping? Any thoughts you want to?
It's very interesting today. Out of 9,
Yeah.
three of them, no, sorry, 4 of them are very smoky, which probably I wouldn't think when I'm drinking green tea.
Can you be a part of this?
And,
Can you be a part of this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
and then the number 5 was just outstanding.
Number 5 was outstanding. So the one that I really liked, that was number 5. Yeah, that really stood out.
Yes, very, very nice.
And I think that it was, of all of them, that was kind of like, bam. And I hope it's not, some of these are like really pricey. I put some on here that I know we can't buy.
Oh,
So there might be, I hope it's not like, I love it when I think it's like the freaking like $500 a kilogram one, and it ends up being one that's like way cheaper. That's really, really nice. So hopefully it's not super overpriced. There was a few there that were potential candidates, especially early on, I found. But yeah, definitely. Okay, no, that's interesting. And then Maki.
Good.
Hmm?
But yeah, that is actually that number 5 was good. The best in out of 9.
Yeah.
And Good to know that the water temperature changes the flavor.
It plays a big role,
Yeah.
for sure.
And also like from dry aroma to wet aroma, it changes. Like some teaser gives you more like, almost like entertainment.
Yeah.
Changes the flavor.
First act, second act.
Yeah. So that was really interesting
Okay.
to see.
The how the, and I mean also when you go and you, if you were to infuse it again, and experiment with what the second infusion could do for you, that would also play a big role in bringing out more and more different flavors, right? But that first infusion is pretty important for our cafe customers, so it needs to be spot on. There were some potential candidates that will work for sure, but yeah. Did you have a favorite? It was number 5, eh?
And I liked, in a way, the dashi one.
Yeah, that was interesting too, right? The dashi
Four,
with the
was it?
slight smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was either 4 or 6. Sunny, which one was it? The
It
one that
was
was like
4.
dashi, like
Yeah.
bonito.
Yeah.
Katsuo.
Yeah.
And one number
Yeah.
4.
Number 4. Okay, yeah. So number
That
4
sounds
was
nice.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Micah.
Right. Well, I learned to associate fired teas with a sort of smokiness. I do hope you return to the cozy tea and just like try second infusions. I am really curious about like consecutive infusions, for sure.
And I won't get, to put it in perspective, I won't buy a tea that doesn't taste good with second, third infusions, fourth infusions.
Yeah.
If I'm getting everything out of it first go, and it's going to be one of my premium teas, it's not something I'm going to do.
Right.
Because it's actually just good technique and poor ingredients. That's what's happened, is you're tasting a farmer that's really good at bringing out nice flavors from that first infusion, but they're not using good product.
I see.
So I want to be able to have a farmer that both uses good product and also has good technique.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely we will visit the cozy tea again.
Good. to
Might
hear.
not be the one that I bring in next. It might be one that I kind of play with in
Yeah.
the background, because I need to make a quick decision on this.
Well, keep me posted.
Yeah, for sure. Sunny, thoughts?
I'm very simple. I don't really like bitterness, but today's all of them are not much.
Not
tannin.
very bitter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bitter and tannin. So I like that, but also a little bit subtle. Not
Yeah.
most of them for me.
We're lacking in substance, for sure. I've been finding that with a
Yes.
lot of my samples from 2020. I've gotten to the point where I'm thinking that it's possible that it's my water, that there's something going on with my filter. And so that's why I was bringing a lot of them home. But I was tasting this at home too, so I think it might be the year. You know, what is the big change? It's COVID, so there's going to be way less pollution. That means that there's going to be more sunlight because there's less like pollution for the sun to make its way through. So especially for our Chinese teas that have to struggle with pollution, they're not normally, like we get EU certified, we get organic teas from China, but even in that environment, it doesn't mean they can stop the big cities from producing like light filtering effects. They might not have like pollution actually touching the leaves, but it's going to interfere with how the sun's rays hits the teas. And so it might be that they just grew a little bit more aggressively than normal, and that it's different regions that are going to taste better this year. I don't know what it is, but definitely I'm noticing, not just China, but in India as well, that to make it taste like it has enough flavor, I'm needing to use more leaf than I ever have.
Right. We just went with 3 grams.
Well, I normally do 3 grams, 180 mils, 80 degrees C, 2 minutes, and that's like, generally speaking, I can find a really nice tasting
Right.
green tea that way. Sometimes I have to updose a little bit, but for many of these, it feels like I'm going to have to updose like double dose. Like it
Right.
feels like that thin that I'm going to have to do something fairly aggressive.
Well, what about those amazing green teas we had sent to us? And we tasted them together a couple weeks back. They just had the best, most floral aroma.
I
I've ever been
updosed
exposed
those
to.
pretty solid.
Right.
Yeah. So I updosed them. And they were good. They were really good. And I'm probably going to, I'll actually do a comparison between number 5 and one of those 2 that I've already worked on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyhow, okay, cool. Yeah, for me also, it's always fascinating. I'm always interested in. I normally would always just do dry aroma in a wet vessel, but like to have it in a heated vessel sure makes a big difference to really get a sense of what it has to say. And it's definitely a different flavor than even again when you're going for that wet fragrance. So that was interesting. And then again, a sort of a confirmation that that these are thin. Yeah, but there was a lot of unusual teas in here. So, you know, I was actually really surprised by number 3. I didn't expect it to give me anything. Like, I felt like there's no way this is going to taste even close to acceptable. I felt like it was definitely like a high dose, like 8 to 10 grams in 70 degrees C in a gaiwan. That's the only way this is going to taste good, just from its appearance. But the fact that it was able to give me something really noticeable, like it definitely wasn't quite there, but the fact that it was noticeable was a really interesting surprise for me today. But yeah, number 5 was the winner for me. Okay, cool guys. Thank you so much. You know, big reveal. What was number 1?
Number 1.
Yeah.
Mengding Gulu.
Mengding
Gulu.
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 Mengding Gulu. Okay. Number 2?
Number 2. Guyu Mao Jiang.
Guyu Mao Jiang. Okay. Number 3?
Imeju Ye Queens.
Wow, I can't.
I don't know. Imeju.
M.A. Zuya Shin.
Imeju Shin.
Yeah.
Shin? Okay. Number 4 is Premium Biluochen.
Number 4 is Biluochen. So that's the one that I thought was Biluochen. Yeah.
Number 5 is Lushan Yunu.
Oh wow, Lushan Yunwu.
Yeah.
So that's a crowd pleaser. Okay. Number 5 was Lushan Yunwu. That was the one that looked a little bit rough, right?
Can I afford that one?
Most likely, yeah. Lushan Yunwu is generally a very affordable origin.
Ah.
And then number 6, Organic Yunu.
What is it? Organic
Yunu.
Yunwu?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yunu. And then number 7 is Luang Guapian.
Luang Guapian. Yeah. Okay.
Number 8 is Jade. What is that? Gujo Jade Pearl.
Jade Pearl. Okay, so that's the one that I already dialed in. Yes. Okay.
Number 9 was the Luang Guapian.
Luang Guapian. Okay. Cool. There you go. Very interesting. I'm surprised the Luang Guapian. Okay. Thanks, guys. Let's clean up and let's go for lunch.
Awesome.